Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Son of the Morning Comics channel, where today we are going to be reviewing Savage Bastards number 2 from Mad Cave Studios. Was a big fan of Savage Bastards number 1. I really liked the way they set up the story moving forward. Just a quick little review there. There's this place called the Red Sands where this guy, I think his name is Dara or something like that. I'll see it as we go along. He is set up in Arizona, this place called Red Sands, which is sort of like a stronghold for his polygamist activity. And he's involved in all sorts of criminal enterprises, including human trafficking. The man has a tremendous amount of concubines. We find out in the first issue that our two main characters, Samuel and Elliot, are actually brothers. They are sons of this guy who is the head of the Red Sands, who is a not very nice guy. Gotta say, I really like the cover art on this book, so that's a good start. Eye appeal is always a good thing. Now, at the end of Savage Bastards number 1, there was a gunfight, and Samuel was wounded. We find out here that Samuel was in fact not killed, and he is still alive. What happened was that Elliot managed to get him onto his horse, and then found an Indigenous reservation, and that is where they helped him out. So I'll just flip quickly here. Sam wakes up, he doesn't know where he is, he's kind of freaking out a little bit, but Elliot's there to reassure him that he's okay. Really nice art in this book. I can't say enough about that. I really like the art, and I think it's very appropriate for the story, which is something that doesn't always match up in comics. Sometimes you'll get a great story with art that's just weird and feels out of place. Sometimes you'll get great art with just no story. This isn't that. This is both. It's the right art for the right story. So, Sam's a little freaked out. He wants to know what happened. Elliot finds it a little bit funny, tells him how he stumbled upon this Indigenous reservation, somehow managed to convince them not to kill them, and instead to help them, which they do. And so after Sam has recovered, Elliot tells him that the chief wants to speak to them, that there's something important that they need. Now, the chief does speak English, and he comments that he was a scout for the white man's army at some point in time. We don't know exactly what that was from. At any rate, what the chief wants from Sam and Elliot is he wants to send them on a vision quest. And in order to do that, he's going to have to feed them some peyote. So, fun stuff there. And so, it's funny here. I like the little panel. Elliot says, well, what the hell does that mean? And Samuel says, it means things are about to get very interesting. Then the scene switches to, these are, some of the children of Dara, who we would call the Savage Bastards. They're the mean people. They go into this saloon here. They're looking for Samuel. They were also, asking question about Sam's mother. When was the last time they saw her? They said he's not there. She's not there. Hasn't been there for at least a month. The barkeep is extremely concerned he's about to get killed, but Mr. Nice Guy says he's not going to kill him. But instead, he's just going to burn down his bar. Now, they realize that they can't find the guys here, so they need to figure out what they're going to do next. So they decide that that she's going to go back to Texas to find Elliot. That's where he's from. They figure that that's probably where he returned to, and that they'll try to track Samuel. The other guys will try to track Samuel. And just what a beautiful picture this is here of him being a not very nice guy saying adios with a raging fire in the background, and the barkeep just wondering what has just happened to his life. So we get to, here's where the vision quest starts. They are given the peyote mixture. They can comment that it smells like manure. At any rate, they drink it up, and you can see here that they're starting to trip out a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. If you're taking peyote, I would assume you're going to have a trip of some sort. Now, the first vision quest that we see is Elliot's, and now Elliot's is a very, very interesting one, where a voice is calling out to him saying, "Come home, come home, come home," and there's all of these mirrors, that are showing the back of this woman. Is it his mother? We don't know. Who is it? He wants to know. He's asking who she is, asking her to please turn around, all of that stuff. When Elliot's mind opens up, all he can think about is rejection, and we know from that he has just learned that his family or his parentage is not his real parentage in issue number 1, so we can understand why he's feeling rejected, and he's just feeling confused about who this person is, and where is home. What are they talking about? But that's Elliot's vision quest. Then we switch to Sam's vision quest, and he sees a very familiar face. He sees his mother in the vision quest, and this part I think is very interesting. They're walking around a spiral staircase here. She asks him if he found Elliot. He says he did. She's pleased with him for doing it, wants him to show him a way to make a life for himself away from the red sands, that sort of thing. And so he's learning that part of his vision quest is that he's gonna need to take care of Sam, and he's going to need to train him to survive, I suppose. And we know that Elliot is homeless, so to speak, and he's looking for a home. So they finish up with their vision quest. It goes on a little bit longer with Sam. Sam's mother knows that he wants to get revenge for her death, and she doesn't want him to avenge her. He knows that what his main goal is to destroy Dara and take out the savage bastards. And he just comments how he was very upset, and because they didn't even leave him a body to bury for her, he couldn't mourn her the way he would have wanted to. Sam is worried that his mother isn't at peace because she didn't, because of the way she was killed, and her response is that as long as Samuel is still breathing, he's in peace. or she's in peace. Obviously, Sam hasn't gotten over it. All that he was able to find in the aftermath of her attack was a gun in a puddle of blood. And as Samuel's vision quest ends, it's just a very interesting panel or so here where his mother says, what about Elliot? Are you going to tell him? The response is, you know the answer to that. She responds, he may be throwing his life away following you. Sam responds, I'm giving him a life worth living. He wasn't meant to be a barber, and that we both know that. And then Sam wakes up from his vision quest. They are both now up for their vision quest, and they are going to be headed to a place called Scottbush. Now, this is where I think this book gets really interesting, and it sort of grabbed me even more. So, basically, Sam takes Elliot to this place that to meet his associates. So, as we flip the page here, gets a more wonderful art. We got some people brawling in a pit here, and they're the champion. This is to see who the champion of Scottbush is, and that is, of course, the butcher, who is this large man right here. And what we also find out here, that all of these people are escapees of the Red Sands. They're all brothers and sisters, and what they're gonna do here is they're gonna train Elliot to be a fighter, so that he can be involved in the mercenary work that they are going to do to try to sabotage the Red Sands and the Savage Bastards. It's all very cool. It's a very cool training sequence where he starts off not knowing how to do anything, not being able to shoot, not being able to fight, to the point where he's tapping out the big guy. So he spent he gave everything into his training. He was not deterred by anything. He just wanted to get better, and nothing got in his way. Nothing distracted him until, just as it says, until a distraction arrived in town. And this distraction is, of course, her name is Ninny Pollux, the Duchess. Very nice to see a beautiful woman drawn as a beautiful woman in a comic. It's something you don't see too much these days, as much as you used to. So that's appreciated. And you can see here Elliot is just enthralled by this beauty he is seeing. Sam tells him, meet the beautiful yet deadly Duchess, the sharpshooter of our posse. So we know that she's part of this team. They start planning what they're gonna do. They're gonna take out banks that are funded by Red Sand money. They're gonna burn down supply places that supply the Red Sands with their goods, and they're going to hijack trains. Oh, hit the camera. And they're gonna hijack trains headed for Red Sands with more of their stuff that they need. So they go and they're attacking this train here, and it's a very well fortified train that eventually the butcher does manage to get open. They're expecting to find all sorts of gold weapons, things like that. But unfortunately, what they find is what amounts to a human trafficking ring. More concubines for Dara at the Red Sands. It's a very sad way to end this story here, but it's the way it goes. Now, this is where I'm a little bit intrigued, because I'm a little bit confused. Maybe somebody can clear it up, or I'll figure it out in the next issue, but a woman comes into this saloon. She's looking for the spider. They're wanting to know, who she is, what's going on. They let her know that she's in trouble. A bunch of guys come to take her out. She pulls out her gun and easily takes them all out, and then makes the comment, "Now that we have some privacy, where the hell is Spider?" And the response is, "Welcome back, Rose." Now, is Rose Samuel's mother? I think she is. See, this is where I'm confused. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe this is a new character, or maybe it is in fact Samuel's mother. Either way, it doesn't change how cool this ending is and how interested I am in Savage Bastards 3, which looks to have quite the cool cover for it as well. So, this has been Savage Bastards. Oh! Written by David Galliano. Art by Carlos Angeli. Letterer Miguel Angel Zapata. And senior editor Giovanni Orozco. Editor Chris Fernandez. And editor Brian Hawkins. Sorry about that. Almost didn't give credit where credit was due. Would hate to do that. At any rate, very much recommend Savage Bastards. Both number 1 and 2. I think this is a great series. I think it's a complex series. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of mystery and intrigue, and I think that it's going to be really interesting to see how this one plays out. So thank you for joining me here on the Son of the Morning Comics channel. If you like this content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, leave some comments if you'd like. Just be nice to each other. If you feel like you need to make fun of someone, make fun of me. I don't care about that. If you want to visit me over on the Twitters, my handle is @sonofthemorning7, and we'll talk to you in the next video.